super spreader.
Well, there's joy in Tuscaloosa. I hope there's not COVID in Tuscaloosa.
I hope so too, but congrats to the Crimson Tide. Congrats. Welcome to CBS This Morning. We're going to not begin with football. We're going to begin with this. As you know, we're learning about multiple new threats following the assault on the Capitol. This violent attack on Wednesday drew radicalized supporters of President Trump from all over the country. And now the FBI is warning about what it calls armed protests planned for all 50 states before President-elect Biden's inauguration.
We are also learning that 2 Capitol police officers have been suspended for their actions during last week's assault. Jeff Pegues starts us off on Capitol Hill. Jeff, good morning.
Anthony, the glaring failures that day caught on camera for the world to see. You talk about the 2 officers suspended for their actions. One was seen on camera taking selfies with a rioter. The other one in a MAGA hat, leading a mob through the halls. And there were at least 10 active ongoing investigations into Capitol Police actions as the outgoing chief says that his pleas for help from the National Guard were denied.
We didn't expect the mob, the riotous, violent mob we got on that day.
Outgoing Capitol Police Chief Stephen Sund, who resigned last week, told CBS News that during the attack on the Capitol, he repeatedly asked the Pentagon to send National Guard troops.
I needed boots on the ground, immediate assistance right then and there, helping to form police lines to help secure up the foundation of the United States Capitol building. They were more concerned with the optics.
The Pentagon says it did not deny Sund's request. Still, the National Guard was not deployed for hours, leaving Capitol Police battling the angry mob. You can see in this video a fire extinguisher being hurled at officers.
Rank and file members were really set up for failure. I mean, there were heroes there that day that did a hell of a job, and their superiors put them in a very, very difficult position.
Congressman Tim Ryan chairs the House committee that oversees Capitol Police funding. He wants to make sure the force is buttoned up ahead of the inauguration, and the bad actions of a few officers who may have facilitated the riot are examined.
A lot of us as members of Congress certainly expected more to be done than opening the gates, and that needs to be looked into and investigated.
Oh, there we go. CBS News has also learned there is investigative activity in more than 30 states across the country related to the Capitol attack and inauguration. And the FBI has now received more than 45,000 digital media tips.
Let's go!
10,000 National Guard troops are already in Washington or on their way to support inauguration security. The Washington Monument is closed, and the Park Service says it may shut down other public areas in D.C. in the coming days. President Trump approved D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser's request for an emergency declaration. She's urging people to stay home.
If I'm scared of anything, it's for our democracy.
Despite rioters swarming the inauguration platform during the attack last week, the president-elect says he's still planning to take the oath of office on the west front of the Capitol.
I'm not afraid of taking the oath outside.
And yet, there have been a number of threats against lawmakers here in Washington, including one against the House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi. We have learned from our sources that on January 7th, an individual was pulled over here in Washington, a white pickup truck. He was pulling a van, or a trailer rather, filled with guns and ammunition. Investigators say that the individual talked about shooting the House Speaker. They deem that he was mentally unstable. But just to look at the nature of some of the threats that lawmakers are facing here in Washington. Tony, back to you.
Just one troubling detail after another. Jeff, thank you very much. Acting Homeland Security Secretary Chad Wolf has resigned as the country is on high alert ahead of the inauguration. His announcement did not mention Wednesday's riot, but Wolf is the 3rd cabinet member to resign following Wednesday's siege. We're joined now by CBS News senior national security analyst Fran Townsend.